Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 2. A couple technical difficulties, and we had to scrap our original version of episode 2. And I think it sort of inspires me to ask you this question. Like, how do you approach and respond to life's hiccups? You know, like, how do you keep pushing through when shit just gets a little fucking funky sometimes? Because that's life. It happens all the time. Anything that we do, there is no guarantee that's going to go smoothly. There can always be a speed bump. How do you drive over those speed bumps smoothly?
I'm learning. So I'd say the biggest speed bump recently was my laptop. I recently had to buy a brand new laptop. I had my old one for 5 years, and it was giving me all sorts of trouble. When we first started trying to do the pod, like it overheated. I thought it shut down like permanently. I had to break that thing open from the back and like take out screws and replace the RAM, like do all this stuff I never thought I would ever do. And it prevented me from doing recording content like the podcast. And it's certainly stressful, but I feel like both of us, kind of speaking for both of us, that we roll with the punches very well. I don't know if that was just something that we like grew up and got taught how to do by like just seeing mom and dad roll with their punches that they got hit with. But I don't know. What would you say, like, how do you deal with hiccups? Because I'm still like in the process of learning how to deal with my own and just roll with the punches.
Well, I'll tell you what, bro. Like, I feel like when I first, let's see, at the beginning, like whenever I became conscious of life's hiccups, I feel like I responded, damn, I'm brain shitting right now. But you know, I feel like for me, at least now, I used to get frustrated, angry, whatever it is, but there really is an awareness to just be grateful because, bro, like at the end of the day, when, let's say we shoot an hour and a half podcast and something messes up at some point in it, there is just a divine reason why that shit messed up, and we're scrapping it, and there's a new episode in replace of it. And I find that perspective brings me the clarity and the grace for those things to happen and not be so controlled by those things when they do hit, because they are going to hit for the rest of life in so many different forms. And there's just nothing we can do about it except for how we respond. Like, that is the only thing we control when those happen. And I find that when they do happen, there's almost always a initial response that's like frustration. Like when the podcast, when I'm sitting there editing and I'm like, damn, it would take me 12 hours to fix this, save it, repair it. And I'm just like, man, I asked Mac and I was like, yo, should I save this or should I scrap it? She's like, it's already not meeting some of the standards. It's like, why would you sit there and waste a bunch of time when you could literally shoot another episode, edit it, do everything with it, have it posted quicker than I would edit just that one episode.
Right.
And I find that to be true with a lot of things, you know? It's like, even with music, sometimes it's just quicker to just maybe like leave that idea where it is and move on to the next thing. We don't always have the clearest vision to maybe perceive that when it happens, but that's how I go about that usually, you know, is like, how can I sit with it knowing that these are gonna forever happen in life? Always, you know?
Yeah, I feel like two, we're just getting a rep in. Like even though we can't
It's
post
a
a podcast,
wrap. I love
we're
it.
getting our reps in. And that was one thing. I was watching this YouTube video. I've been watching a lot about songwriting, and uh, the topic was just getting as many reps in as you can, and not necessarily getting so just caught in the song itself. Just get the idea out, go in and tinker and fix everything later if you really love that specific idea, but get as many ideas out as you can and then just listen back to them. Whichever idea is calling to you, that's the one you should go in and finish. And I think that's a good perspective to have, especially when somebody considers themselves to be a perfectionist. It's a good practice to break that like predetermined assumption of yourself that you have as being a perfectionist, because then it's like exposure therapy for people with any sort of like mental disorder like OCD, like purposely putting things out of place in your room as a person with OCD is exposure therapy. And um it's like the same kind of the same concept there. Like you practice not finishing things or not being perfect in that new song you're working on. And I think it's a good way to one, get your reps in and not get so caught up on the tiniest increment detail that most people are not going to notice. And it's typically holding you back from just finishing the entire idea in general.
Mm. Bro, it is all like, especially with art, we paint on a canvas. Sometimes that painting, it doesn't need the fucking Mona Lisa finishes. Like sometimes it is just a splatter paint. Like you just take all this color and you throw it at a canvas and you're like, cool, that's what that was supposed to be.
Hmm.
Then there's going to be paintings where you go in and it's super fine detail because that's what it was supposed to be. And you're dead on, bro. Like it's not about perfection in art. Art is a feeling, it's a expression of emotions and the human experience. Perfectionism, for me at least, comes from this idea of comparison and oh, it doesn't
Yep.
sound like this. It's like, bro, I I heard the other day this audio engineer was like, why would I reference my mixes to any other mixes that are out there that are like sounding good? It's like I don't want to sound like those people. I'm like, damn, that's all I needed to hear because for me, it's like, yeah, no shit, my stuff doesn't sound like other people. I'm creating Sunchiami's sound. Like there is this thing where when it comes to the expression in music, you're so right. It is not perfectionism. It is the practice of creating judgment free in a safe place where you can literally take ideas to the finish line, whatever that was supposed to be for that idea. Because, bro, I am a jump shooter. I take jump shots. There's so many things that people will never ever hear. But because I was shooting
Oh
in the
yeah.
gym, it took me to the one that they are going to hear. So the more that I take jump shots, the more music that I create. Is that similar for you?
Oh yeah, dude. So I have a unhealthy amount of demos on my computer. Like really, I think I have 15, 16 or so songs that are out right now on Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere. And I probably have, I would assume around 100 ideas that I just exported like demos onto my computer that aren't finished. And there's certainly ones that I go back to and listen to a lot, but a lot of those I listen back to and I'm like, what, bro? Like, what is this? And that's like exactly what you were saying. But I try so many different things, and I don't know what it is. I just move on really quickly. But if I find a song or like I get too caught up on one little part, it just becomes uninspiring. Like I listen to that same section of the song, the same like 4 bar, like I'm trying to punch in and find the right words for like a little tiny section and a hook. And I listened to it so many times, the song's not even like fun anymore.
For
And
sure.
so I think if you practice the idea of taking more jump shots, it allows you to just get those ideas out, even if you don't have a perfect sentence for that hook or this verse doesn't really sound right. You can always go back. And like I said earlier, just getting your reps in, man. You gotta get them reps in.
Oh, bro, the best. Let's make a baseball analogy, bro. The best hitters in the entire history of baseball are sitting around like 300 batting average. That's 3 for 10. If I'm shooting 30 shots and I get 3 songs that are really, really good and I really love because I took 30 shots, for me, my mission is then, okay, if I shoot more, I'm going to have more songs that I love. That's the whole concept for me. And it's like, bro, to be able to shoot more, I can't be trying to perfect every idea because it's all about the feeling for me. The feeling is what's going to drive me to finish the full song. Like, bro, you send me, hi, who is this? Which isn't out yet. This pod will probably drop before this song comes out. But bro, that you sent it to me at dinner time the night before. So let's say like 6, 7 p.m. I listened to it in my chair. I text you back. I'm like, cool, I'm going to bump this in the morning, see if I got anything for it. I finished my entire verse for it before breakfast the next day. And Mac walked in and was like, hey, breakfast is ready. I was like, baby, I got to finish these last 2 lines. Let me stay in this flow. And I did. And then, the verse is literally exactly what the verse is what I finished, so fast. But it's again, to circle it and tie it all together, it's like, it's because I was taking jump shots before you sent it. So when you sent something that just was a feeling, I was like, oh shit, Aiden came fucking correct. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna match this energy in the way that I see fit. And, and that's how that comes to be. But it's like, without taking those jump shots, I wouldn't have been ready to even receive that and get my jump shot up and be like, oh yeah, this, like, in basketball, if someone throws me a beautiful ass pass, sometimes when that shit's gonna go in. And it felt like with that one, I just knew because I was in that state as soon as I figured out how to start it. It was just the flow state where I'm like, all right, give me it. I'm hot. Like, I'm hot. I got to stay in this. Matt came in as let's say she's a defender. She's like, yeah. and I'm like, oh, get out of my face. And I hit another one, because I was hot. I had the hot hand, and it's important to honor those moments too. And I want to ask you, like, how do you balance moments like that when life is like, hey, you got to go check this shit out, but you might be in flow state creatively? Are you going to stay in flow state, or are you going to put it down, try to come back to it later? And is that easy for you to do if you do so?
Dude, if I'm always trying to find the flow state and be in it as much as I can. And like, I think the best way to do that is not put a ton of pressure on myself and just have fun. But to answer your question, like, if I'm in a groove writing a song and like, I know, like, I get that, you just get that feeling. You're in the flow state. Like, you feel it. You're recording. You're coming up with melodies in your head. Like, it's just, the song is coming to you. And there is not a lot of things that can take place to make me step away from the microphone, my headphones, and my computer. Like, very minimal things that could take place, dude. Like, I'm saying, I gotta have the most urgent, like, doo-doo or pee of all time. I like, someone's got to call my phone 14 times in a row and text me like 30 times for me to be like, okay, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
I swear.
I honestly think it comes from playing video games. Cause, dude, growing up, I would so addicted to video games, so addicted. And when you're playing video games, like especially ones that are competitive and like you are genuinely trying to do your best on the game so your friends don't get mad at you. And
Oh,
so like I would be playing video games for like 3 hours and then not do anything except play the game. And not that binging playing video games is a good habit to have, but I think it did that in sports help me like realize that when I'm in a flow state, like I'm in there.
dude, it's how much of it do you think corresponds to how good you get at something? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, because I think about our video game playing, and I would say either one of us could probably still compete at a high level in video games. Like, I don't even be playing like that, but I'm confident enough to say if I picked up the latest like competitive game, give me a month on that game, and I will be awfully competitive in that
Oh
game.
yeah.
I feel like flow state has a lot to do with how quickly and efficiently you get good at something.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yes. Yes, they go hand in hand, dude, cuz with with things that are difficult and require a lot of focus, those are the things that you can get into flow state with. I mean, there's so many things in the day-to-day life that you can get in a flow state with. Like even if you're like at work, you get tasked with a bunch of things, you can get into flow state with those tasks
For
too.
sure.
And it's it's really like whenever those things when it's a hobby and you're able to get into flow state with a specific hobby or niche, whatever it is, say it's any creative outlet, I'll put that constraint on it. When you get into a flow state with that, dude, it's hard to get out of it because it becomes like video games, it becomes addicting and you just feel separated from everything that's happening in your life. You are present in whatever you're doing and like if it's a say it's songwriting or video games or whatever you're getting into, it's just gonna naturally happen that you get really good at it because you're gonna be spending time on it. You enjoy doing it. It's a creative outlet. And when you're in flow state, like I said, there's all you are is where you are. And there's no distractions. So when you have those things aligned, bro, you're going to get good at whatever it is that you're in flow state at. Like it's it's bound to happen. Like it might take a while and the progress might be a little slower compared to some other people, but that doesn't matter. It's you. And when you're in flow state, dude, oh yeah, you get good at stuff real quick. And video games, it's a great business because they figured out how to get people into that flow state
Hell yeah.
super easily and at a mass like huge level. Video games are crazy, dude.
Dude, they're whole worlds and you can sit with it for I have experiences of sitting with video games for every hour of a day, forgetting to eat, forgetting to do things. And it's the same with music for me. I will easily be in the studio for hours on hours and and then when I start to come down from that sort of high or that very active state of focus, whatever it is, and I'll be like, damn, my body's like, whoa, we need water, we need food, we got to go to the
Yo.
bathroom, and I'm curious. I was wondering while you were speaking, what almost like checklist vibe, like what are some things that you do that sort of cater and create like a nice safe entry into this flow state that we've mentioned? Like, what are some things that you do to do that?
I what I found recently is when I when I look for beats, are you talking about flow state specifically for like creating music?
Yeah, yeah. So like when you step in the realm to start creating, is there anything you do like, like light a candle, like set the vibe, you know what I'm saying, to sort of help
Hmm.
you integrate into that flow state a little easier?
Oh, that's a really good question. And I don't think I've put a ton of thought into it. And I don't really have any oh gosh, what are they called? Um like okay, in sports, like in baseball, when someone has to have like some sunflower seeds in their pocket, or like they have
Yeah.
to have their hat tilted
Yeah.
a little bit to this. What is that called?
Like
Um,
like rituals or
I can't think of the
I know a
word.
word you're it's
It's
a
like an
fucking
adjective to describe somebody.
superstition.
Yes. If
Like
so, I don't have any like superstitions. Like I think a part of it is because I've been recording in so many different places. The most consistent spot I was being creative at was my last place in Colombia, and I didn't have any like lighted candles, like you said. I couldn't think of any, to be honest. I What helps me the most, I think, is pulling up my music, getting ready to record, and just telling myself the first beat that I think in my brain that I like within the first 10 seconds, I'm saving it, throwing it into Ableton, and not even listening to the rest of the beat and just recording without even
epic.
knowing what's going to come. And that's that's how I made a few songs, and it really helps me like with the entire writing process of the song and be in that flow state. Because whenever I listen to, like, say I find a beat on YouTube and I found it 4 days ago and I'm in love with it. I've listened to it like 20 times and I'm like, ooh, next time I get a chance to record, I'm pulling this one up. Whenever I do that for whatever reason, even though the beat is crazy, I'm excited to record. It almost feels like forced, and like I've already had ideas in my head to this. So like any idea after that, I'm trying to like recreate my old idea without memorizing it. And it usually doesn't work. So I think the best for me for flow state creativity is just going into the songwriting process with without even allowing myself to have an expectation of what it's going to sound like, and then going from there. I think is probably what helps me the most get into flow state, because then there's no boundaries and I'm coming up with new ideas on the spot and freestyling, and that is so fun.
So tight. Well, flow state to me is literally the boundaryless creativity. There, flow state is the full experience. You know what I'm saying? Time doesn't exist. These external things don't exist. It is the full absolute presence. To me, I associate it with the full, like we are full channels for God, the universe, creativity, that universal language of creativity just to pass through. And it is meant, I swear to you, man, when I start to think about creating, I'm not in flow state. That's not flow state. Because I'm
Yeah.
thinking about creating. Flow state is when I'm literally just creation. It is full creation. There's no other thing existing except for the thing that's just happening. It's all very much present and there. Because I truly feel when I start to think about stuff, I can still create when I think, right? And sometimes ideas need time to sit with, but it's like a lot of the times those ideas almost don't make it out into the world or feel the same way that something does when I'm just like in the state of being that's full presence, because I feel like then, because there's no thought, it's full emotion, full feel, full expression. So when I listen back to it, I'm like, yo, this shit is hard, whatever. Because then I'm like out of the flow state, just taking it all back in.
Right.
And I feel it. Like the feeling is there. Like you can absolutely hear that I captured that this was captured in a way to where, like, if you close your eyes, you can visualize me in the room just fucking doing the movements of like how it feels when it comes out of my throat, because I feel like the tonal, there's English, there's Spanish, there's Japanese, there's all these different languages, but there's also a universal language of the vibration of the throat, the tone of the throat. It doesn't matter what language I sing in. If I sing something and I'm allowing myself to feel that shit fully, you can be from anywhere in the world and you're going to know what I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's ways to articulate, but then there's the feel. And I find that in flow state and in that space, that shit flows freely. Free.
Yes. And I think that's the thing that, you know, me and so many other people who write songs fell in love with. Like when I finally experienced that, like that free creative flow of ideas just coming out of me and getting to listen to it back, like that's what I fell in love with, and I still am like continuing to build my relationship with, dude.
Oh
Because
yeah. All
oh
day.
my gosh,
That's the
it's
shit.
so. I mean, yeah, it's so fun. Any artist out there in any realm, that's you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
uh,
Like, cause bro, it is that feeling that is just it's the magic essence of it. You know, I think that's why, I mean, honestly, anything that puts me into that state, I find that I'm extremely attracted to. Whether it be
mhm.
rock climbing, that was like a new one later in life that I found that totally put me into that space of just full presence, like feeling my body. I'm locked in, I'm touching the earth. Music, I would say baseball did that for me for a while. Of course, video games did that for me. Uh, yeah, it's a very special feeling for sure, for sure.
Yeah, and I was talking to Madison, my girlfriend, about this, um, and it's those things that people gravitate towards, that they do feel that sense of freedom in, that make them so unique and cool. Like there's so
Mm,
many people that have these random, like to me they seem random and obscure and strange and I know nothing about, but that's their flow state. Like that's whatever they're interested in or they obsess over or create, that is, you know, foreign to me because I don't do the same thing. That's what makes somebody so unique. And dude, when I wish there was like like instead of small talk, like how are you? I wish the question was, what's your little tiny niche that you're obsessed with that nobody, the majority of other humans don't give a shit about? Like
uh,
tell
uh.
me that random fact about you. And um that that would just make that would make the connection and small talk like so much better, I feel like, because
Oh
then you get straight to the
fuck
point.
yeah.
And I think you're one of the best people at this. And I was watching a video for some work I had to do for my degree for Mizzou. And it was talking about small talk. And like I said a second ago, you're one of the best people at this. How do you, like, what are some questions? What are some strategies that you think are really, really good at breaking the ice of like, hello, like, how are you doing? Like, my name is so and so. Like, oh, my day's going good. How do you go from that to getting into a deeper level conversation, really getting to know somebody better, or really hearing about how they actually feel, or those things that they're really interested in? Is it more of a feeling? Is it like a skill that you've practiced? Like, how do you do it so fluidly?
That's a good question. I know that's for sure a good question. I intentionally practiced that for a long time because I felt that small talk. It was just so I just I was not buying it. Like it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel like the connection I was seeking. And I just growing up, seen that shit for years, just the hey, how you doing, Paul? I'm good, buddy. Good to see you, man. All right, catch you. But it's like
All right.
it's like it's like this almost like a practice behavior, I think is all it is. And when I started practicing, okay, how can I be the change that I want to see? And it was, bro, literally being still enough in my body to be like in a grocery store checkout line. And like, really, I would say the first step is like really just being present and looking at the person. So eye contact, I would say, is like one of the biggest. But then I find one that really works extremely well and gets right to it is like a compliment. So something like let's say I was walking and I see this person and say they got a cool ass pair of glasses on. And before I explain what I would do, it's also important to note that you also have to like genuinely want to connect with humans and like humans, because
Yeah.
people also know when you're faking the funk, like, but going up and being like, yo, I really, really appreciate that you chose to choose those glasses to wear today. Like, that's so sick. And they're just going to be like, oh shit. And if you make it that fucking chill and cool, what people are going to respond, they're going to match that energy. And if they don't, they might be more shy and reserved. And maybe that's the first time anybody spoke to them that day in that way. It might throw them off guard. They might not be ready to hop into that. But you're going to find people that are, and that also probably feel the same way about the small talk and the robotic responses that sort of just become these behaviors that we can all get sucked into. And it really is just about doing the thing that feels not normal, and
Yeah.
there's nothing else really to it. You can connect with anybody. And these are things that I believe, but I think the root of sort of my approach to even interacting with other people is I genuinely, more often than not, want to actually talk to that person and like just get to hear something about them. Like, why are we together in this moment, in this massive world, in this universe, somehow in the same spot at the same time? Like, when I look at it like that, it's so easy for me to be like, who the fuck are you? Like, actually, you know what I'm saying? And when I do that, it's like you're grabbing their world sometimes and stopping them.
Yeah.
Because you don't even have to physically do that. But if you say something like that, it can be enough for their world to go, whoa, you're actually right in front of me. You're actually looking at me. You're actually seeing me. And you actually are saying something to me that isn't where we're all just kind of existing around each other. Hey, buddy, hi. And we're like not actually getting into the connection part. So I think it's
Yeah.
just about doing what doesn't feel normal, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good description of it. With when you said you kind of pull someone in, I think with me a lot of the times I'm such an internal thinker. I have a lot of internal thoughts going on and my brain is very sporadic. And whenever I go, like say I'm just running to the grocery store right quick to pick up a couple things. And
Some milk and
um
chicken.
yeah, some eggs and potato chips.
Come on,
And
buddy.
I'm in the aisle 13 and I'm like lost. I'm confused. I'm in the pasta, like I'm seeing pasta and taco seasoning, and I'm trying to get some bread. And then all of a sudden Ethan comes out of nowhere and starts actually like having a conversation with me. And I'm like you said, you pull them in. And that's such a good way to look at it. And I think so many people nowadays, with how technology's taken over the world, and I'm a victim of it too, people are lacking that sense of connection with humans. And I think so many people, so many of us want to have it. And like you said, some people like go so long, maybe it's been a whole day and like no one's really, talked to them beyond just, hey, how you doing? Or hello. And all of a sudden they do. And it's like, whoa. Like, and then you have that conversation and it feels really good, especially when you're someone who hasn't had a conversation like that for a while, and or someone who's grown up who hasn't really experienced that a whole lot. Like being antisocial, like I was so antisocial as a kid. Like throughout middle school and elementary school, I was so quiet. I would talk to the people I knew and that was it. And that was just like the people I played baseball with, like a handful of my friends. And it takes a while for someone to make the transition from going to being super shy to being able to have open conversations and not be worried or anxious. And it's people like you or random people who come up to you and just have conversations with you that genuinely help. Because without having those conversations or being around someone on an off chance that just wanted to talk to you, that like instills like a little confidence, like, oh, this person actually like wants to talk to me. Like, what? Are you serious? And then all of a sudden you want to start talking to other people too, and going out of your way to talk to a stranger and give them a compliment. And then that energy is contagious and it just keeps going forever and ever. And that's something that I'm grateful to have you as a brother, because being super shy as a kid and hearing you talk and having conversations with you, it helped me like come out of my bubble and actually want to talk to other people because it's fun.
I love that shit. Love it. So cool. And I've gotten to witness you in that journey, and I would say the same for myself. People would say all the time, like, oh, like you're so quiet, you're so shy. And it's like, I didn't feel like I was co-signing those ideas of like being so shy or so quiet. I just didn't know really what I wanted to talk about. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I wanted to be or whatever it was. I just didn't have much to talk about. And if it didn't feel like it was conversation I wanted to be a part of, I just didn't. I didn't partake. Like I wasn't someone to just jump in and just add stuff in just for shits and giggles, to fill up space or whatever. And one applicable step that I really want to share to start to become more practiced at being able to have these connections and just like walk up to anyone and start a conversation, because we're all humans at the firstly, I just want to state that we are all humans, even if you've seen that person on TV or they made your favorite song or it's the president. I promise it's a human when you sit down and look at them from across the room every time. Second, practicing being okay with not only like looking weird or feeling weird, but like making weird noises or doing weird things by yourself, and first feeling safe enough to do that. I promise you, it was very uncomfortable for me when I first was like getting into this bag of like, what is my expression? Like, who am I when nobody's watching? Do I like that person? Would I hang out with that person? The answer was probably, I don't know at first. I didn't know. But then once I started to figure out, I'm like, oh shit, I could be with myself all fucking day. And at one point in my life, I remember this vividly, that my greatest fear on the planet was to be eternally alone, forever alone. And like, I just pictured this like dark abyss where it was just me. And I was so scared of that. But this was before I was like, okay, but who am I though? And I got to dive into all the darkness, all the everything, got to dive into it. And now I'm like, damn, I could be with myself for a fucking minute Now, granted, I love human connection. I love it. So the reason I say all those things, it's like to go in and see why you feel uncomfortable in the first place by going up to someone and just saying something that's a little bit different is almost like step one, because I find that in doing that, it leads me back into myself. I'm like, okay, let me look in the mirror and make fucking crazy faces like, "Blah," like be okay with looking ridiculous, because when I can master being okay with looking funny, making a weird noise, doing something that's out of the normal, then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, now I can start to be my full self. I can make all these noises. I can do whatever's coming through my body. And as I start to build that relationship, it makes it so much easier to walk up to someone, because if I say something that is the quote unquote wrong thing, or I say something and for whatever reason they feel uncomfortable, I then know, and because I'm okay enough with myself, that wasn't me. I walked up and said some goofy ass shit. That has nothing to do with me as far as how they respond to it. Because I
Right.
know, this is what I know, that if I walk up and I go, hey, buddy, and I'm like, hey, dog, and doing some goofy shit, and that person is okay enough with themselves to match some degree of that, I don't expect people to match that energy that I bring a lot, because sometimes I'm over the top. But if they join me anywhere in that world, I'm like, oh yeah. And then it turns into almost a deep discussion every time. And vice versa. If someone pulls me into that, I'm like, who the fuck are you? This is so tight, you know? And I feel like that's where that shit comes from. I just wanted to give people sort of like some perspective and background. Like, bro, I was shy too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen you shy, and I would never describe you as shy anymore. Like, I literally see you sit down with people, ask them very intentional questions, and listen very actively, and also hold very beautiful conversation, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Like hearing that coming from you for real, because I I was genuinely terrible at it. Like I really was, and I was able to have conversations with the people I was comfortable around. But it's breaking the barrier of if it's someone new or someone I liked, like had a crush on, or just someone that I like was inspired by, or like shy to talk to, like whoever it is, like I wasn't comfortable around. Just now being able, which I still have like social anxiety to an extent, but it is way less than what I had before. And yeah, it is truly a skill. So, and it kind of ties into another thing that helped me kind of break out of my bubble is the understanding that this goes for anything, literally anything that you consider yourself to be, you can change. And I think it's
Love that.
such a powerful tool once you understand it and you practice it, because when you tell yourself, your mind is very smart, but it's very gullible. If you tell yourself something enough times or tell it to other people that you are this, you are going to be that, and your mind is going to be that way. But the same goes for the opposite end of the spectrum. If, say, for example, like since we're on the topic, I would always say I'm a introvert, I'm a shy person as a younger kid. You tell yourself the opposite of what is actually what you think is constructed in your mind of who you are. You start telling yourself you're an extrovert and you are really good at speaking to people. You start to believe it, and then you start becoming it. And it really goes in that order too. Like as soon as you start to believe that you are something, you start to become it. And I don't think you can become something without believing it either. And that is, like I said, it is a super powerful tool.
That shit's fire. It took me a second. I was like, wait a minute. Like, bro, that shit is fire. Yes. I totally feel that.
Yeah, and it it's something that I've been leaning into more with doing music because I was always before I even started music, I and looking at YouTubers or looking at streamers, like everything that I've tried to become, I had this predetermined assumption that you couldn't do it. And you got to change that belief in your mind that you can. Like all this stuff is attainable no matter what it is, whatever goal you have, how crazy it is. You got to be believing it first before you can be it. And dude, once I figured that out, like, and you believe it, people start to believe it as well. And
Hmm.
something is only an assumption until a ton of people assume it. And then it actually happens. It comes to fruition and becomes reality. So if say you got a goal, just believe that you can do it, even if it's crazily unattainable. And then tell other people that you believe you can do it, no matter how crazy you sound. And that's how you start to build bricks of the foundation of becoming successful at whatever it is.
And I want to add on to it. It's like there's this idea that goes around to be fearless. I don't think it's to be fearless because to me that means without fear, right? But what I notice is that the things that I used to fear greatly, I now am brave enough to step into it because I practice stepping into it. So to me, it's be brave. Like, be brave enough to step through whatever it is that the mind has set there saying, oh, but it's going to be scary. Oh, it's going to be this. I'm going to feel this. I'm going to do this.
These
The
people are gonna think this about me. Like,
yes, like the practice of hearing that and being like, okay, I hear that, but I'm still going to go for this because I might not get another chance to ever be in this exact moment again. And that to me is bravery. And the more that that is practiced, the easier that shit becomes. I still, every now and then, will have like a, oh, maybe I shouldn't, but I've practiced it so much that I'm like, boing. I like flick the little guy off my shoulder. I'm like, get out of here. Like if you have the angel and the devil on the shoulder, it's like the angel's like, oh, connection. Go connect, buddy. And the devil's like, get out of here. You know they're not going to like you and they're not going to want you in their life. And he's like, ping. And you flick that shit like that voice. Pew. And as you practice this voice, it gets bigger, it gets stronger. It starts to outweigh the other voice. The other voice, for me, the other voice has never left. It doesn't leave. It's a part of me. It's a part of my who I am. It's my existence. But by practicing this voice, that's bravery. That is stepping through it, even when the feeling is still there. Because if it was fearless, like, where's the adventure in that? You know, we're too
right.
human to be
Oof.
perfectly fearless. But it's fucking the magic is when you step past it and you're like, ah, I did it. I spoke to that person and I did it. Cause you're gonna, bro, that shit will put me on a high when I get to step out of the comfort zone and go like do whatever it is. I'll be faded off that for hours, you know?
Right.
It's like, come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Dude. Yes. And every time, every time you force yourself to do it, like for me, there's so much anxiety before starting something. And I'm like, oh God, oh God. It's like before a roller coaster starts, like, oh God, we're getting ready to go. And then once you're going through the roller coaster, you're in it. And you've passed that line. Now you're in the fear. And it doesn't last for like that fearful feeling, like the scream of the roller coaster. It doesn't last forever. It's not an endless roller coaster. You get off eventually. And
And you step through the shit, bro. Like fear, once you step through it,
yeah,
it's almost always bliss and peace on the other side. The fear is like the mind creates all this fucking fear and created realities that don't even actually ever exist. They literally almost never actually exist. You know what I'm saying? I went
Yes.
skydiving, and the hardest part was everything before it. The actual skydive was amazing, but it was like all the like, oh my God, I've heard of people like their parachutes not pulling and splatting on the ground. Like like the worst things that the mind just was grabbing onto. It's like, bro, I jump out of the plane, I'm screaming for 3 seconds, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the extreme. But I feel that way every time with all the other ones, all the small ones too.
Yeah, for sure. How do you feel like I've tried to lean into it in a little bit, but I'm curious as to you if you have ever like been intentional with it for things that scare you or you're afraid of, like for example, like scary movies or anything that's like associated with fear or that you're frightful of. How have you ever tried to like take those things that you're scared of and you like implement them into any sort of creativity that you've done, like whether it be music expression, like any sort of expression, creative
However,
itly.
you just said that shit was hard. You added like an extra syllable. It like gave it a bounce.
No, I'm just stuttering, bro.
I know that shit was hard. I swear. Um, Man, I don't know if I have. Perhaps the only time I could like maybe draw that parallel is like uh getting into something emotionally, creatively, because sometimes
Hmm.
that it can be scary for me or fearful. Um, and I feel like something that I've noticed about myself is I compartmentalized emotions pretty much for as long as I can remember, until about like 4 years ago, when I was really like, okay, I noticed that I am not feeling things. My mind is telling my heart what to feel, but my heart is not leading the way. This is not good. And I think music was one of the things that helped me sort of chisel on that stone wall that was protecting, because really at the end of the day, it was protecting through some of the traumatic things that happened to me as I was growing up. The It became very intentional to start chiseling at that stone that was shrouded around the heart. And as I did that, one of the things that I would use as a tool to do that was music and expression.
Hmm.
That's probably the biggest way I would say I've done that. But then also, performing is one where
Oh,
like I was for sure, like anxiety. It was a mixture of anxiousness, excitement, nerve, flutter on the inside. And bro, it like in doing it again, it was all the moments before, like, oh shit, what's this gonna feel like? What's this gonna do to me? What am I gonna be like? Am I gonna sing the wrong word? Am I gonna say the wrong thing? And it's like as I'm doing it, I'm like, I made this music. It's not like I'm up here trying to like recite something that was somebody else's, like it's in a different language. It's like, no, this is my expression. How I
hmm.
deliver this today for these people is entirely Sunchiami. Like it is, they don't, all the shit that I created beforehand in my mind doesn't actually exist. The only thing that exists is me allowing the music to come through and they're just receiving it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that doesn't really answer your question, but it's kind of a segue. And I want to kind of return a question back to you.
Uh huh.
When it came to performing for the first time, what were some of the things that you were feeling going into it and then as it's happening?
The first time, luckily, I was able to perform with you, which I'm very grateful
Legendary.
for. Absolutely legendary. First
So far.
performance ever was, yeah, yeah. That it was a dual performance, and we're going like kind of back and forth on like I would do a song, you would do a song, and man, I'm trying to think back. Like I was super during the first song. I was super nervous, like super duper nervous, and well, really the whole time. Like I was I was somewhat nervous the whole time. Like it was. I mean, it's the first. Like I there was just so much emotion. There was excitement. There was nerves. I was happy that mom and dad got to be there, and like a couple of my friends showed up, and it was just a nice day in general. And it it's the purest form. Like I think as artists, the most fun thing is performing your music in front of people. And I didn't I didn't have that feeling beforehand, obviously, because I never performed. And it was the coolest shit ever, dude. Like
Mm.
now, so I've done one other performance since then, and that was I was with a live band, and it's crazy. Literally my second show ever. This is so crazy to me. My second show ever, there was 116 people there. Like
Insane.
absolutely insane. Um, but that second performance, I felt the same feeling going into it. I was super nervous. It was a big event where like we had a few bands play before us. We were the last ones to go. And so the stage was set up, like it had a little like green room off to the side. So the band that was getting ready to perform on deck, they would go over into the green room and kind of just, watch the band before them or just get ready for their show. And I was watching the band before us, and it helped because they were crazy good. So I was able to be somewhat distracted by that. But oh my gosh, dude, I was in the green room like pacing back and forth. Like my heart was like boop, 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 boop. Like I could feel my heartbeat bumping out my chest. And once I got on stage though, 30 seconds into the first song, bro, float, like what we were talking about earlier, flow state. And everything after that just happened. It's almost like you black out, but you're still conscious and you're not in control. It's just everything, all the emotions, all the words, all the feelings are just coming out, and nothing, not even myself, is going to be able to stop me at that point. Like,
Bro, it's so complex too. Because I'm sitting here thinking about how, even with limitless preparation, I think I would still feel those feelings and emotions, even if I rehearsed 1,000 times. It's like there's something about it when there's a herd of people of 100, whether it's 20, 100, 1,000. There's this energy there. They're nervous, they're excited, they're probably in their uncomfortable space or discomfort zone. And being someone that's on stage, it's like there's almost this synergy that happens between the whatever it is, the entertainer with the audience. It is a full package. All the energy, I think, just sort of swirls around the room. Because I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, because I want to ask, do you feel like if you prepared, knew every song front to back, you could sing it if someone knocked you on the head, like, would you still feel that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've kind of already expressed my answer, but I'm curious of how you feel about that. Like, is preparation the solution to no nerves, or is it a unavoidable sort of thing? Again, like we said earlier, you need bravery just to step into it, even if you are prepared.
yeah, so I almost wanted to segue into like the question that you just asked me and kind of dive into preparation a little bit more earlier when we were talking about flow state and like the things that I would do before recording to like get me into that state, because it's the same thing. It's all preparation at the end of the day and how you prepare for something. But you can do you can literally do everything. You can look up every possible scenario that could happen, be ready for it, be expecting it, and then something that you had no idea could take place could happen. Like, no matter how much you prepare yourself, you can only take it so far. And I even feel like over preparing for something is a waste of time. And having having that nervous energy going into something is ideal for me personally, because if I try to over prepare for something, it's just not going to go how you expect it, and you're going to be disappointed because something didn't happen and it didn't go the way you planned it or envisioned it, or like planned it didn't it literally didn't go the way you prepared. And so I think, just like with everything, really you just have to find a balance. And if you're unprepared, it's not going to go well. And if you're over prepared, it's probably not going to go the way you hoped it would go. So really, just you gotta figure out how to walk the line of being comfortable enough to start it, but also being uncomfortable enough for it to still feel like exciting and you're nervous for it. So so I don't preparation is just the weird, like, you can put all your eggs into the basket and think you're ready, but life will just hit you with some unexpected stuff. And it's on every the biggest level and the smallest level, like anything. And life life is crazy because it just will not go the way you expect it. It truly won't.
Well, life mirrors, I mean, the idea that you're talking about, life mirrors that from small to big, just like you're saying. It is a delicate blend of becoming masterful improvers, but even the best artists or jazz musicians in the world who can improv the entire time, it's because they've prepared, and there is that perfect blend. The best entertainers in the world prepare, but they also know that anything can happen and they have to be ready to just flow right into it like that was a part of the show. And I think that is a beautiful metaphor even for life. We can prepare, but just like you're saying, over preparation, for me, I notice I can create false expectations or feel like I can almost over prepare into the outcome of what it's going to be. But just enough preparation mixed with just enough improv skill is that perfect in between of just being able to flow and rock. But to be able to flow and rock, you have to prepare your body for those things a little bit. I don't know too many people that can just step into, let's say, a show with 20,000 people and haven't prepared 1 second. And same thing goes for a job interview or a presentation, right? There's not too many people that can go in and just knock it out unprepared, freestyle it. Some people can, and they're good at it. But majority of the people need some level of preparation. And I'm here to suggest, along with you, it's like it also requires some improv. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what it's going to look like. And that is a life metaphor. We don't know what tomorrow's going to look like. But with some preparation, we can almost predict the future. I know that if I work at something every single day, I can predict that I'm going to be better the next day. That's it, though. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know how that's going to change. But by creating and preparing, all I know is that it will grow, become more fruitful, but we don't control. Like everything out of our control, we can let go of. I promise. I've been in control of or tried to control things that just were out of my control, and I burn energy like a fucking diesel truck whipping through some like city streets. Like it just does not work out in the long run. And to be able to like move like water on some Bruce Lee shit, it is just gonna keep you energized and fluid. We're improvers. It doesn't matter if you're a jazz musician or not. Life is improv. To be able to respond to any moment and choose how we react is just that's a cool spot to be, you know.
It's so cool.
Nah, this life shit is epic, man. I wanna thank everyone for tuning in and sharing their life with us for these moments in these podcasts. This is the
Yes.
second episode of what I've already envisioned to be hundreds of episodes. I want to say thank y'all for giving us the time to give us your ear, to listen, to feel some of the things we say, to maybe disagree with some of the things we say, to be a part of these conversations that we have every intention to create conversations around these topics. And I would love to hear what y'all think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, stick around for all the episodes. There's so many cool things that we are doing, and this is just the beginning.